Finance and mobility have long been male-dominated. But Shepreneurs are breaking this mold. Leading this change is Ms. Nehal Gupta, founder and MD of Accelerated Money for You, driving India's EV revolution with innovative financial solutions. In this Women's Day Week special, we dive into her journey, vision, and the power of women in leadership. Welcome, Nehal.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So to begin with our conversation, can you introduce AMU to my audience and what is the mission behind this venture?
AMU stands for Accelerated Money for You. We're building a non-banking finance company, which is essentially an EV financing platform to enable access to credit for people and companies to buy electric vehicles, because we now know, living in Delhi and being here, how important climate change is, and the climate crisis is a pressing issue. And we thought that this is the right way to adopt and promote electric vehicles in the country. And financing is such an essential part of India, and lending, traditional lending, is such a traditional part of, our economy and our business overall. So it seemed like the right way to start the company and promote something that's future looking. And the vision and mission for us is to finance 1 million electric vehicles by 2030. And that's what we stand by.
Also, Nehal, you are probably the first female founder who has been working into this industry. So what really inspired you to enter into male-dominated sustainable investment and financing industry?
When we got into this business, the idea was not to see if it was honestly male or female. It was an interesting opportunity. And in the beginning, I think it started more as an ethical choice, because sustainable mobility, financing, something that's green, future looking, like I said, was very exciting. And also soon realized, being in the business, that it can be taken to a massive scale and it can also achieve great profitability. So now it's a good mix of taking care of my ethical responsibilities and also building something that's going to give me financial independence growing up. So I think those are the two things that actually excited me about this opportunity. And it never really came across my mind that it's going to be a male-dominated industry, though I experienced that when I became a part of it, but not when we started it. So I think it's been great. I think everyone's been very welcoming and exciting about this.
So we will come to this, since we are talking on the occasion of Women's Day, so we will come to this gender stereotype in the next segment of my interview. But first, I want to understand from you, about the EV industry. The industry is projected to grow 100 billion by 2030, and you have been an active part of this industry. So what do you think are the key drivers of EV industry in India?
So I think overall, any new industry that comes into India takes time to shape up before it can start contributing in a massive way to our economy. It is definitely projected to be a $100 billion market, and the key drivers to grow it would be the entire value chain, starting from manufacturers, R&D, technology, financing, servicing, the distribution and dealership network that comes with it, the entire charging network, battery manufacturing, battery recycling. So it's really about tying all the pieces of the ecosystem, and with the largest focus on making it indigenous. Key is to make it in India. Key is to have the entire logistics and the supply chain in India, where we don't have to depend on external parties or countries to run something that we really want to, and the government is pushing. So I think focusing on certain production-linked incentives that government has rolled out, the FAME scheme that they have rolled out, now the PM e-drive scheme that has come out, and then at a central and a state level, I think multiple governments are trying to make that happen on ground. So policy, government push, regulatory push, manufacturing, financing, charging, I think tying this all up would be the way to go forward and to actually push this industry.
So Nehal, when you talk about the industry and the support that it is getting from the government, so looking at all these things, what do you think that the customer is responding to it? Are they equally active and enthusiastic about EV industry, or maybe purchasing an EV?
Yeah, I think, There are mixed opinions. People are either very convinced by it, in my personal opinion, or people don't get convinced by the technology and have certain challenges and issues and preconceived notions about driving an EV. Personally, I own an EV and it has been a pleasure driving it. I think it's super convenient for an intra-city transportation where we can just move within the city, completely emission-free, pollution-free, and a city where we have larger vehicles, passenger vehicles, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, electric, I think is a good, healthy environment for all to be in. The customers that face challenges with EVs are around range anxieties. What if my car stops? What if I don't find the right charger? What if I don't know how to charge this vehicle? They may not have that right infrastructure around, not the right kind of knowledge around EVs. So I think those are the challenges. But as more manufacturers are rolling out, more electric models, like I was at the Auto Expo this year, it was all about electric. All your larger legacy brands, OEMs, smaller brands, startups are coming out with EV variants. So as and when more vehicles roll out on road, and I think there's more acceptability seen by customers, we will be able to see those challenges being overcome.
There is one thing which I want to talk about is EV adaptability among female drivers or, female.
I think it's definitely much easier to drive an EV compared to an ICE vehicle because I drive it myself and I can feel that, it has no noise, it starts with a press start and stop button, and it's very, very easy to navigate through as well. And in fact, at AMU, we did a project with SEVA, which is Self-Employment Women's Association, and SIDBI, and where we are only promoting electric two-wheelers for women borrowers that can help them with their micro-entrepreneurship, their small tasks that they have to move around daily, and they love driving an EV because it's so easy and it's so comfortable and convenient. So, once you have a specific route where you want to go from point A to point B to point C, it's actually extremely cost efficient and also very easy to drive. And this is specifically for women. So I think there's been great adaptability there. But overall, if you see, EV sales are still a very small percentage. But within EVs, we definitely see a good mix of both men and women driving these vehicles.
All right. So coming from, the business part of it to your personal journey with AMU. So how has been your journey as an entrepreneur?
It's been really exciting. I think it's part of who I am. It's become my identity and I enjoy every single minute of doing what I do. The idea was to actually gain financial independence and own my craft and knowledge in the industry I want to be a part of, and that's exactly what I'm doing. This is such a finance-heavy, relationship, networking-heavy business that I love going out, I love meeting people, I love learning from people. I don't come with that bias that I belong to a business family, so I should know everything and my team should know everything. So I'm very open to learning, meeting people. So that journey has made me learn a lot. And now if I go to one conference, which I used to go 3 years ago, 10 more people know me every year, So when you see those small milestones being achieved, people recognizing your work, your company, it's very heartening. So it's been great. Wouldn't have it any other way.
From a female entrepreneur's perspective, how has been your experience within the industry? Because in the first part of your, I guess, second answer, you mentioned that you did not know initially that it is going to be a male-dominated industry, but you realized it later. So how has been that experience? Did you face any sort of challenges? And if you did, how you overcame?
I think more than the gender part, it was the age part that was more challenging, because it doesn't matter what gender you are, but when you're under 30, you're touching 30 versus you're interacting with, older people who have been veterans in this industry, who are now at 50, 60, 65, it can be very overwhelming. It can be very intimidating because you may feel like you don't know anything. You're walking into a room of people you don't know the right craft, the right expertise. I think that was one of the biggest challenges that I faced, but eventually seeing the reception from people, seeing how they received me so well, I think they can also sense who's hardworking and who's actually there to learn versus who's just been privileged to get there, So I think when people recognize that difference and when people actually are warm enough to teach you, to learn you, to help you learn, to mentor you, it's a great experience. That bias never was a problem. It initially felt like one, but it was never really something that bothered me to stop doing business or to not be part of this industry.
You know, there is a wave of entrepreneurship over last maybe 10 years. So what motivated you to not go towards a corporate job after completing your education and get into entrepreneurship?
A very interesting insight that I have observed is that any large businessman that you know today never had a corporate job that they had left and started when they were 40 or 45 to do something that they want to do. So I think it's really about if you're passionate about building something from scratch, and it takes time to fruition, it takes time to actually go to the level that you want to. So it's advised to start as early as you can. And coming from multiple generations of entrepreneurs in my own family, I always knew this was my calling. In what shape and form, I wasn't aware, but it came in handy through the EV financing, and I'm very glad that it did. And now the kind of knowledge that I have gained, the kind of experience that I gain working every day, being on ground every day, I think that cannot be beat by any experience that I could have gotten anywhere else. So I think it was just that spark of building something of my own, which made me do this, yes.
So Nehal, since we are talking on the occasion of Women's Day, so like, is there any message that you want to give to our female audience and the female entrepreneurs that are out there watching you?
I would say that don't shy away from speaking up, and always approach your decisions with confidence. I think it can be relating to your personal life, your professional life, how you want to network. You may not know anything about a subject. You may be hesitant to ask a question. Always speak up and do it confidently. I think just that eagerness to learn should never die. I think that's very important. And when you approach that with confidence, I think it just does wonders for you.
All right, Nehal, thank you for connecting with us and a very happy Women's Day to you.
Thank you. Likewise to you.
So this was Nehal. Her journey is definitely inspiring for a lot of female entrepreneurs out there. To hear more such enticing startup stories, stay tuned with TICE. We would like to tell you that TICE has also started the Startup Club of India. In this club, all the entrepreneurs are very welcome to share their own story. So go to tice.news and know more about it.